Samoan-born David Tua came into the boxing scene sparking memories of Iron Mike Tyson. The comparisons, while a little far-fetched, were somewhat warranted given the stature and body composition of both these men. Then, of course, was that left hook, which would make a thumping sound upon impact, often ending fights quicker than the introductions. With a career record of 52 wins, 42 by knockout, 5 losses, and 2 draws, this brawler managed to carve out a good career with the great knockouts along the way. Evander Holyfield had one of the most decorated careers of any heavy, and is a Hall of Famer because of it. Starting his career at light heavy before moving to cruiserweight, then heavyweight, he tallied a professional record of 44 wins, 29 by KO, 10 losses, 2 draws, and 1 no contest. The smaller man for most of his heavyweight bouts, he will no doubt be remembered for his epic bouts with Riddick Bowe and his matches with Mike Tyson, which changed the course of boxing history. Jack Dempsey might have been one of the smallest men to be recognized at heavyweight. Regardless of that, he was one of the toughest men of his era. Let's get one thing straight. Dempsey fought at heavyweight, but he was no heavyweight by heavyweight standards. The Manasseh Mauler, as they called him, would mow down his opponents with precision and power to the tune of 44 KOs, made more impressive by the fact that oftentimes he gave up 50 pounds or more to his counterparts. That's straight right. Many boxing purists have categorized Deontay Wilder as one-dimensional. His straight right has sure sent his opponents to other dimensions with devastating effect. To date, his record stands at 42-1-1 after a loss to Tyson Fury. But what is impressive is the KO tally of 41. Not bad for a man with just a straight right. Rocky Marciano is a boxing anomaly in some people's opinions, including my own. As an amateur, he had a subpar record of 8-4. Then he turned pro and never lost a fight again, becoming a legend along the way. Flat-footed in his approach and often taking damage to deliver stiff, knee-shaking punches with the intent to end fights with every punch. He retired undefeated as a pro, notching 43 KOs in 49 fights, a staple of heavyweight boxing to this day. Joe Frazier was a hard puncher, fitting the same mold of a Mike Tyson. He had a smaller stature, but an earth-shattering left hook attributed to the strength he gathered as a youth being his father's quote-unquote left hand. As the story goes, his father, Reuben Frazier, had lost his left hand as a result of a violent dispute, and Joe would help his father, a sharecropper, as his left hand. He developed bone-shattering power as a result. With a record of 32 wins, 27 by KO, 4 losses, and 1 draw, he cemented himself as one of the hardest hitters of his day. If you're looking for a build of a dominating puncher in the heavyweight division, Sonny Liston is your guy. Thick build, intimidating presence, long reach, and the best snarl in boxing. Considered unstoppable until he ran into a supernova known as Muhammad Ali. His shadow alone would cast fear into his opponents. Match that with great footwork and a style that favored pressure, and it's no wonder that the Big Bear, as he was known, had 39 KOs. In an era where bouts lasted days, Jack Johnson was the king of the ring. Perhaps the first counterpuncher in boxing, he ushered in a new style of pugilism with his approach and had perhaps the strongest uppercut in all of boxing. With 35 knockouts in 96 fights, in a time where fights lasted as many as 40 rounds, the historic impact of Mr. Johnson redefined boxing for decades. Intensity. Few boxers have had the impact on their opponents as Iron Mike Tyson. He could win fights before stepping in the ring with just his glare. Inside the ring, you could see the anxiety of his opponents as they would know that once the bell rang, this was for real. A peekaboo stance and rolling head movements would paralyze his opponents. And the left hooks, the uppercuts, the crosses, all thrown with malicious intent. No setup needed. There will never be another Mike Tyson. Big George. Registering the biggest fist in boxing to date, Herculean strength and the ability to make the most decorated boxing men look like boys. Clubbing blows and an imposing demeanor made George Foreman a nightmare. On track to have perhaps the greatest career arc of any heavyweight, he was another victim of the Louisville Lip, Muhammad Ali, as was the case with many great heavyweights of that era. He came back at a later age and made history when he 1-2'd his way to the top again with those hamburger hands. This has been Rush Diaz Sports Top 10 Hardest Hitting Heavyweights. Did I miss any out? Please leave a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the little bell for notifications. Have a great day and keep punching.